Hello, we are back for episode 2 of the WBBL review. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in last week to see Naomi's episode. We are going to try for a Tuesday release every week so that you can set your diaries accordingly, so you know when we're going to be releasing our next episode. But again, just a huge thank you to Naomi for last week, taking the time out, getting to know her a little bit better, and the response was amazing, so thank you very much. Speaking of YouTube, thank you for all the likes, subscriptions, on YouTube and across our social medias. It's great to see. It means a lot. So keep it coming. Just press that subscribe button in the bottom and make sure you give this video a like, because this episode is not to be missed. We've got our special guest. We've got all the latest news, the Quickfire Questions, and also our fan questions as well. So again, not to be missed. So today we have a medal-winning GB legend in Chantelle Handy. So this is going to be fascinating. But let's start with the latest news. So I thought about doing this as like a news report, so I might get my shirt and tie out one week or something like that. You never know. But we've got some movement in Manchester. Manchester have released a few signings. There's been some on Hoopsfix that haven't been formally released yet. But we've got Claire Abbott, Sam Keltus, Shea Sanchez, and Callie McAllister, who have signed for Manchester for the upcoming season. London also announced in the last few days that Mark Clark is back to lead the Lions after their undefeated campaign last year. Nottingham today announced the signing of Mari Stewart, who played last season at Sheffield. And Caledonia Gladiators have released the signing of Tia Adams. So it'd be interesting to get Chantelle's thoughts on that, as she has also signed for the Gladiators for the upcoming season. Again, keep up to date with all the incomings and outgoings on the Hoopsfix tracker. I'll put the link in the description. They do some incredible work and they keep up to date with that tracker, so make sure you check it out. Last bit of news, Eva has announced that there is going to be a competition to design the badge that she will be sending out to all the winners of Eva's Player of the Week for the upcoming season. We've also got, we've already got Abby Lowe's entry, and she has set the standard very high. So make sure you get your entries in before Saturday. What's the day? Saturday the 3rd of September. So make sure you get your entries in by then, because that's when the competition closes. Eva will then pick a winner, and we'll get the badges made and get them ready for the new season. Can't wait to get started. I think it's less than a month. Less than a month now before the new season starts, so can't wait. It'll be soon pre-season time as well. But it's now time to welcome our special guest. As previously mentioned, a GB legend, over 130 caps. We've got Olympics, we've got Commonwealth Games medalist. Unbelievable. Now she's moved to Scotland. She's been around Europe playing basketball, been over to America. I can't wait to get into it, so let's get to it. Welcome, Chantelle Handy. Welcome to the show, Chantelle.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
How's things going? Obviously, a big move up to Scotland.
Yes, it's going. Hit the ground running is what we did. We've been in practice for a week. Just starting the second week of preseason, so we're all goes over here.
Busy. How's adjusting to Glasgow? So you've been around Europe playing many different clubs. How's being in Scotland been for you?
You know, it's been great. I love Scotland. I love to travel. I've been around in the van, so I did the North Coast 500 2 years ago. So any bit of downtime I'm getting, but to be honest, we're not getting much right now. So we're just full on in the court. You know, a lot of practice going on, but everyone's been great so far. You know, everyone's super positive, and we're excited about what the club's going to do. So
let's kind of go back to where you first started. So where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in Consett, Durham. Is where it's home. Home, yeah.
Not far from me. I worked in Medumsey for quite a long time, so that's very close.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so not far away.
Right.
When did you start playing basketball then?
I started when I was about 14. I played football first. Football was my first love. And then my dad played basketball, and that's the whole reason I started playing.
Okay.
He was like, maybe you should try. So I was getting taller. So he was like, maybe you should try picking the ball up. And that was it. As soon as I picked it up, I loved it. Within a year, I was scouted to go to England tryouts. went to England tryouts. Within that summer, I was recruited to go across to the States. So I left just after I turned 15 to go to
Wow.
America. So it happened pretty quickly, to be honest.
Yeah. So when you were growing up, football was the main thing. Are you a football
Yeah.
fan still?
I was a football fan, not so much anymore. I can't say I have much time to watch it, but Newcastle was my team back in the day.
No, that's
Now,
the
not so
correct
much.
answer.
I don't really follow it as much now.
Did you have any other talents when you were growing up? Any other sports that you tried and kind of thought, oh no, I'll focus on football?
I Yeah, I played tennis and I ran track was my main. I mean, I was a bit of jack of all trades when I was younger. I tried a bit of everything. I was cricket for one season. I was all over the place. My mom's like, any sport it was, you tried it. But
Yeah.
my main focus was football, tennis was earlier, and then obviously I ran track and field at school. But yeah, and then basketball just took off after that.
Yeah, so you talk about kind of a whirlwind start to your basketball journey. Talk us through that
Yeah.
first couple of years then. Kind of when did you start realizing, no, this could be something big?
Yeah, it honestly it happened pretty fast to be honest. The problem is I had England tryouts for football and basketball on the same weekend, so I had to choose. And obviously I'd been playing football. I had a bit of an injury my first tryout, so I think I was a bit like, oh, I don't really want to go back. So then I chose basketball, and ever since then I've just gone down that route. But everything happened so fast. I think the summer I went to play for like under 16 England. We played in the summer. And then that like July, we got a phone call from like an American scout saying, "Do you want to come to America to play high school?" And at that point, I was thinking maybe go to college, so maybe do my A levels in the UK and then go across to college. But then I got the opportunity to do it, and my parents they're super supportive, and they said, "Listen, you're not probably going to get this opportunity again, so if you really want to do it." My mom wasn't so happy about it, but my dad was definitely like, "You cannot let her miss out on this opportunity." But I'm glad they let me do it because I wouldn't be here today if they didn't push me to do it.
It's kind of a bit of a baptism of fire, I guess, going over that young age.
Yeah, it was weird because I feel like it happened so fast. I went over and I just got on with it. We just
Mm.
adjusted, and I was very lucky. I went into a high school where they had it was a private school, so we had like a house mom. So there was a house where we could stay with students, or there was dorms. I actually stayed in the dorms, but we could like go down to the house for meals. So it was very like family orientated. So it was quite easy for me to adapt coming from a family I'm very family orientated. So that was quite easy for me, to the fact that the first week I didn't even call my mom to say that I arrived or anything. And she was like calling my coach, like, "Is Chantelle okay? I haven't heard from her." But at that age, you don't think like that, you know? And when I was 16, I just left home. I was like, "This is great. I'm by myself." But yeah, she was at home worried a little bit. But yeah,
Your
she
mum would be dragging
still
you back to
gives me a
England.
hard time about it. Yeah, she does.
So how does it work then? 2 years go by, and then you go to
Yeah.
the
Yeah, so I
next
was in
step.
high school for 2 years, and then I got a scholarship to go play at college. And I signed at Marshall University, which is in West Virginia, Conference USA. And I was there for 5 years. So I ended up redshirting my first year,
Okay.
and I ended up doing my degree, and then I got a year of my master's. And then I went pro after that. And
And
that's it, really.
when was that the plan to go pro? Was it at this, when you started at Marshall, you thought, well, I'll obviously play here, and then after that, the pro is the plan, or did you have another career in mind?
Yeah, I think to be honest, it was probably the midway through my sophomore season. Well, my freshman season, I had contact with GB, and they asked me to come across and play for Great Britain.
Okay.
But it was my first year playing, so I didn't actually go that summer because obviously I redshirted my first year. So I wanted to be with the team in the summer workouts and just establish my position as a player,
Mhm.
knowing that I was going in as a sophomore off the court, but as a freshman on the court, really. So I knew I had to be with the team. So my sophomore year really was the year I got in, started as a freshman. Luckily, I had that redshirt year to like get used to the coach and the environment and the systems. And but my sophomore year, when I started playing for GB, and it was like, you can do this for a living. I mean, people they can make money off this. And at a young age, it was like, yes, you're in America, there's a WNBA, but it's very limited. It's very selective. Um, so I think my sophomore year, after that sophomore year, I went to play for GB, and just like talking to teammates that had gone to college and started playing pro, and just having them conversations, I think was the first time that I really thought maybe I could do this. But I was still young. I still knew I had 3 years of school left, and I always wanted to finish school. That was always a goal for me. So yeah, I think. But then by my senior year, I had contacts with agents. I was talking to. So I think then I knew this is something I want to at least try and go into. So that's what I did. I left college. As soon as I left college, I signed my first contract overseas, which was in Greece. Interesting one for sure, but it always is as a rookie. I think every rookie gets challenged on their first year. But yeah, so that was kind of the path I took, and ever since then, I've just been all over the place, really.
I was going to say, looking at your kind of career, you have been everywhere. You must have loved the kind of seeing all these different countries and traveling, using basketball as that kind of way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky. I've got to play in many countries. I think there's only a few. I think I can count on one hand countries I haven't played in, and I've been playing pro for 12 years now. So yeah, I'm lucky, and I've got to experience different cultures. I've met some great people that I'm still in contact with. I mean, it's been an amazing experience.
You mentioned GB there. Can you remember that debut game?
Oh yeah, I can remember. I remember the debut camp. I remember everything. It was brutal. We had Mark was actually our head coach at the time. He was great. I was young, I was ambitious. I was just wanting to be everywhere, and yeah, it was tough. Like we had a tough group in that year. But it was good. It was good for me, especially at that age, to come in and see that kind of leadership. It was on the team and the players that they were bringing in, and the caliber of players to think, can you compete? Can you not compete? And yeah, it was amazing. I was just happy I got the opportunity to do it at such a young age. I think for me, I was probably 20 at that point when I came into GB, I think. So yeah, I mean, it was just an unbelievable experience. To represent your country is huge at any age, but to do it
How many
at a
caps
senior
have you got
level.
now? Because I think last time I heard it was like 130 something.
Yeah,
Right?
I think we're on 137, maybe. I don't know. I need to ask one of our media guy. But yeah, I'm just racking them up as many as I can
How
get.
does that feel? Like 100, you're saying representing your country at any age is such a big thing. 137 times.
Yeah, it's I think sometimes as athletes we don't stop and realize what we're actually doing sometimes, and I think especially this summer for me has been a huge. I know I'm jumping the gun here. Sorry, I'm just trying to. But I just think putting the jersey on is huge. I think I work hard every day, and I think just to go out there and represent your country. Not many people can say that, and I think that we don't stop and appreciate it sometimes. But I think this year I think because coming to the end of my career, I'm starting to just really look back and see what I've done, and it's huge, and I'm very proud of what I've done, and definitely couldn't have done it without the support of my family and my friends and the people around me. So I'm very thankful. I am.
Speaking of GB, we've got to talk about the Olympics. 2012. What was
One
that experience
of
like?
highlights of my career for sure. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I think everybody on that team can say we worked so hard to get there. We had a 4 or 5 year period program, which was for all of us hard. It was intense. We knew we had to get through the works to try and compete. And yeah, we might not have got the results we wanted, but we were a fresh program at the time. And we got close to France. They won a silver medal. We played teams close, and I think it was a huge point for people to realize actually GB has players. We recognize that this could be a team that we need to worry about in the future.
So let's talk a little bit more about your career. Do you have a favorite country that you've played in, a favorite team that you've played on?
Oh, I don't have a favorite team because I think there's been so many. My favorite country, I think, competitive wise, I love Turkey because it's just the level is just insane. Every game is a game. My favorite place to live would probably be Greece. I absolutely loved Greece, the lifestyle, the culture. They're so laid back, maybe sometimes too laid back, but the food is amazing. I was in Athens, so I was right on the beach. It was beautiful. But Italy, I've been in Italy, was gorgeous too. But yeah, I think basketball wise, Turkey's definitely one of my favorites.
Slight different concert then, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. Italy concert, there's a bit of a. Don't get me wrong, I love my hometown, but yeah, there's a bit of a difference.
And what's the hardest thing you've had to overcome then in your career? What's the most challenging thing you've done?
Yeah, good question. I think for me, and I'm like I said, I'm starting to realize more now. I think the sacrifices of family, friends, relationships, the normal life, that normal, as a pro athlete, you don't get that because obviously you're sacrificing that and being selfish to look after yourself and perform and be at the highest level. And unfortunately, that's what you have to do in order to be at the highest level. So for me, I think the biggest thing I miss out on is family. My sister, and I think this changed a lot when my sister had a baby, and I was missing, all that sort of stuff for me. So I think that's the biggest thing. Other than that, honestly, it's given me so much. I don't really say I can anything else that I would say I've had to give up on because it's given me so much. I've learned so much from playing. I've seen so many things in the world. I've traveled. I've seen cultures. It's an unbelievable thing, really.
So you finished last season in Latvia.
Yes.
I was at the GB game last night in Newcastle, and the Latvian fans took over about, I would say, about 60-70% of the arena. And
really?
it was insane. It was an amazing atmosphere. But was that translated across, obviously, in Latvia, and how popular basketball is there?
Yeah, it is popular. Obviously, for the women's game, it's different to the men's game, which I think we know in every league, but we're trying to change that over here. I think, they love it. It's like one of their main sports over there, and the men's team is very successful. But our men got close to them. They put up a fight.
It was
put
close.
up a fight. I couldn't watch it, obviously, but I saw the score and I was impressed because I thought that it might be a bit different, but they did well.
Yeah, it was just in the last 3 or 4 minutes that they stretched out again.
Yeah, the whole out. Yeah.
But no, it was, as I say, outnumbered in the crowd.
That's crazy. I can't believe that.
So let's talk about your move to the WBBL. Obviously, you've played, I think it was six games for Northumbria a few years back now.
Yeah.
What made you want to come back? How did the move to Glasgow come about? Caledonia. How did the move to Caledonia come about?
I think I knew last year was probably going to be my last year playing overseas, like as in Europe, overseas.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to step into that coaching role. And for me, it was important to give back. I wanted to give back. I wanted to bring my experience to the league. And, I think, the Caledonia job came up and I applied for the job because I thought, what a great opportunity, a team that's actually willing to back a coach and put the funding in. And, it was like huge. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I was going for it. And, it just happened to work out that, here I am, assistant coach, so the player too. So I get a best of both worlds. I get to coach and also slightly take a step back, but also like not just stop playing completely. So it's been quite a good balance for me, I think. And I think it's good for the league to have players like us come back and play. Like, for example, London Lions brought back Joey. The Daniels come back. It's huge for the league. I think for these players to see these players come back and actually want to compete in the WBBL just shows that, you can go out to Europe. I mean, players can go out. If they work hard, they can get there. But it's just, the experience that you see in these players, it's just a different level completely.
But you saw Joe last year, MVP, and then going out on a high, I guess.
Exactly.
What's your thoughts on the league as a whole and how the league is developing from your experience a few years back and from what you've seen from afar? How would you say the league is coming on?
It is getting better. I think it takes teams like us and what London's doing, and teams need to start making these steps in order for women's basketball to be more of a statement. Because we have the BBL. The BBL has been around forever, and some teams have linked up with the women, some of them haven't. But if you're linking up with the women, it should be pushed as much as what the BBL is. If you're wanting the league to be a professional league, is what we're trying to strive for. Because right now, is it a professional league? People could argue it's not, because you don't have 12 professional players, or you don't have the funding to run a full program. But the development has definitely been there over the last few years. From when I was in it to now, it's totally different.
Yeah.
So the growth is there. It's just we need more teams to do what we're doing, to do what London's doing, to really back a team and push forward. Like, just look at the success that London had last year. And that was within the year. Yes, they've got great players. Yes, they have whatever. Great. But it took someone to say, listen, we're going to back this team in order to push them. And that's exactly what they've done. They're now in Europe. Within a year, they're in Europe. 2 years, sorry. They're in Europe. It's huge. It's huge for the league.
Yeah. And Caledonia going to push them this year?
That's the goal. We're going. We're trying. Hey, listen, I think any game is any game. The game is winnable regardless of who you're playing. But they're tough. Let's be fair. They're tough. They've got a lot of talent. They've stacked their roster again. But like I say, a game's a game. We've got 5 players. They got 5 players on the floor at the same time. Yeah. So
another thing I wanted to ask you about, obviously moving up to Scotland, is the journeys, the long journeys going down to the likes of London, and you've got Gloucester, Cardiff.
Yeah.
How are you preparing for those?
I think I'm used to, because in Spain we had to do the same thing. We had to jump in a bus and travel. So for me, I'm used to traveling. It's not a big deal for me. I mean, no, it's okay. Glasgow and London's going to be far, but at the end of the day, you get on with it. You just do it. I think for me, it's going to be nothing different than what I'm used to doing in Europe.
Are there any games you're particularly looking forward to?
Obviously, I'm looking forward to London. I think that's I'm looking forward to Newcastle. Get to go home, play in front of a home crowd. That's exciting. We actually have them at home for the first game, which is nice.
Yeah, it's been moved to the Friday night.
I'm excited to play multiple teams. I think I'm excited to play Cardiff. Steph's coaching at Cardiff, so I'm always like, when I've got like friends in certain teams, I enjoy being around them. But I'm just excited to start. Honestly, I think we've brought in a good group. We know it's step by step. We know it's going to take some work. Things aren't going to happen overnight. So I think we're just super excited. Everyone's super enthusiastic, and we're pushing things in the right direction.
So I put a post on social media to get kind of some questions from people who are watching and things like that. So I've just picked a few of 3 or 4 of them just to ask you now. So the first ones come from Kaz. So you've kind of answered a little bit about why you came, but did seeing what the London Lions did last year play a part in you coming back to want to be one of those GB legends coming back and helping the league and that kind of thing? Did seeing London do what they did play a part in your return?
No, I think only because I'd already made the decision before last year that I was going to come back. I just didn't know where I was going to end up. I think I decided that my last year in Europe was going to be last year, and it was last year, sorry. But seeing the success that the girls had, yeah, for sure, after, I think it definitely had to take in. But on my initial decision, no, I don't think it did. I think I'd already made that decision before I even got to Riga. I'd already decided this was going to be my last year overseas. Okay. So, but seeing that success is huge. Any success in this league is huge because it then puts the league out there. I think it's, some people don't like the fact London has money and they have players, but why? That means everybody else just has to step it up, right? Yeah. It's like, if we want to make this league something, everybody has to step up. It can't just be one team. You look at some teams in Europe, there's leagues like this in Europe where there's 1 or 2 teams and then everybody else is just, it's not competitive to play in that league. We want it to be competitive.
Yeah. I know one of the questions that Naomi was asked last week was about London and their money and her thoughts on that. And she said that someone's got to be first. So someone's got to kind of start it off. You wish it was the team that you support or the team that you're involved with, but not always going to be the case.
Exactly.
So Sam Fitzpatrick asked, something we haven't talked about yet. How difficult was it to adjust to the pace of the 3x3 basketball? Obviously, the Commonwealth Games just being. We'll chat a little bit about that. Obviously, when you're used to Elite 5v5, what was that transition like?
It was tough because it is fast. It is fast. You don't have time to think, you score, you can't, it's not a case of celebrating, it's a case of you're playing defense straight away. So I think when I first started 2 years ago, it was a case of you score and then usually you run back on defense. You got time. You don't have time. It is a case of you score, you're straight into defense mode. Like you're turning around, you're denying your player, you're trying to stop them from getting to the 3-point line. It's everything you were taught in 5-on-5 out the window. Everything you taught, it's like the total opposite. It's like you don't help, you deny your player. It was very different. I don't think it took probably, I think last summer, I think as we played more competition and we got, into more tournaments, we got better as we went on. But that is a unit. That's just everybody that was involved last year, this year. But yeah, it was very different. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work because it is intense. I'm an older player. I understand the speed is not what it used to be. But you also need to be smart. You need to make reads. And I think, that's where I think I helped out a little bit more than I did with the actual speed and agility of everything.
So what have you done with your medal? Do you keep it close to you? Have you got it up in a frame or something?
It's actually at my parents' house right now. I will be bringing it up here at some point, for sure.
You mentioned obviously Olympics being one of the proudest moments. That again, a medalist in the Commonwealth Games has got to be up there as well.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. It was funny because we've been successful at Eurobasket when we got fourth. That was another huge thing for GB. But it's different when you're on a podium. I have never felt anything like it, to be honest. It was a bit surreal at the moment. And I think when you're in it, you don't really realize, but then you look back and you're like, wow, that's it's impressive. Just being there with the girls. I mean, we had a great group. We'd worked together all summer. We knew it was going to be tough. And the fact that we beat Australia in the semis was huge. And I think for us, that was our final. Unfortunately, we just ran out of steam and Canada got better as the tournament went on. And yes, we probably kick ourselves and we want gold, but I think we need to understand that game against Australia is historic at the end of the day. We've never beaten Australia in anything. So I think we should be very proud of that. But being on the podium it's definitely up there for one of my top situations, definitely.
Last question from one of the viewers is, why not Newcastle? Why aren't you coming back to Newcastle? It's from Caitlin, that one. And a few people I talked to at the GB game last night.
Yeah, it's tough because Newcastle is my place. It's always been my place. I played there when I was younger with Deirdre, and I played there a few years ago. And just not the right time, I think, at this point in time. Future, I look, we'll see what happens, but just not the right time.
Okay, last part is the quickfire questions, just to get to know you a little bit more. So just some quickfire questions. Let's start with, do you prefer McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's.
Confident. Netflix series, what's your favorite series at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, actually, I'm not actually watching anything on Netflix right now. Actually, Virgin River. I just watched Virgin River. It's my favorite right now.
You've never heard of that one?
Yeah, well, there you go. It's a bit of a sappy one, to be honest.
Do you prefer tea or coffee?
Ooh, time of day, but let's say tea.
Okay. What's your favorite jersey number and why?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna say 8, just because it's my GB number.
Is there a reason why you play an 8?
No, it wasn't. To be honest, I was in 11, and then a more veteran player took it. So then I stuck with 8, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna change back after she retired. I was like, this has been my number. I'm gonna own it for the rest of my GB career. So that's pretty much what happened.
The amount of times I've asked that question hoping for this really good reason. It's just because it's a number.
Some people do. So yeah, somebody do, somebody don't. But yeah.
What's your favorite Disney film?
Ooh, The Lion King.
Same as Naomi last week, Lion King.
Lion King is just, it was I loved it when I was younger.
What would you put in room 101? What really annoys you?
What really annoys me?
Yeah,
Do you want me to list it?
Well, I mean, you can pick one if you want.
Repetitive noise is the thing for me. I see red when I get repetitive noise. So like someone's clicking their pen
Okay.
or
Okay.
like typing, anything. I can't do it. Or like when someone smacks when they're eating. No, that is the one thing. I'm just like, stop it. Yeah, probably that's the
Okay.
biggest one for me.
Yeah. Do you have a game day routine?
You know what? I don't really. I listen to music. I go over what we're supposed to plan of the game, and now I'm definitely a little bit more relaxed than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, honestly, I think the one thing that I've kept throughout my whole career is just put some music in, try to relax, and just focus on like the task at hand.
What is your favorite type of pasta and why? All the hard hitting questions here.
Oh, God, serious. I do love Alfredo pasta, but no reason why. I just think it tastes
Just
better than bolognese.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Uh, who's your favorite ever teammate?
Oh, that's tough. That is
Setting you up to offend
tough.
someone here.
Yeah, no. I don't really have one. I don't have a specific like that is my favorite teammate. I have multiple favorite teammates,
Yeah.
but no, I can't say I have one. And I think that's on like GB or Europe. Like I've had some great people in my life, and it would be hard to pick one. It would be.
Fair enough. I'll let you off.
Thanks.
What's your favorite snack?
Ooh, at the minute, probably apples and peanut butter is my
Interesting
go-to right
combination.
now. Yeah, try it. If you haven't tried it, try it.
Okay. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Definitely.
What is your most embarrassing moment on court?
Ooh, embarrassing. I
Putting
don't
you on the
know.
spot here.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it's good that I can't think of one.
I was gonna say
One.
it's impressive.
Um,
Not something just etched in your mind that you can't get rid of. Do you know if you don't have one, you don't have one. That's
Honestly,
fair
I
enough.
don't know if I have not one that like stands. I mean, there'll be many. There'll be many where I got beat off the dribble or let somebody shoot a three or something like this for sure. But
If
not one that I'm like, oh, not that comes to mind.
if anyone's
Somebody else
watching
might be able to tell
this,
you for me.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say if
if anybody
anyone's
knows
watching
one,
this,
please let me know.
just comment in the big comment below. A
Like,
list of
actually, she did
Chantel's.
this. Yeah.
um,
No, I don't think so. I don't think I have one.
would you have pineapple on a pizza?
Yes,
Good choice.
I definitely would.
Who is your favorite basketballer of all time? Like someone you've watched growing up, or who is your favorite basketballer of all time?
I think my favorite NBA player would have to be LeBron
Okay.
because he just does it all. He's just a huge, like, great role model. I think he's a great person too. And honestly, female player that I have looked up to would be Sonia Petrovic, which is now Sonia Basic, I think her name is now. She's married. She played for Serbia. I think I've always similar. I think she's a bit younger than me, but I've just loved her style, the way she
Mm-hmm.
plays. She's a 3-4 like me. I've always looked up to her game. Like I just appreciate it. She's just super talented, and I love her work ethic. She's just. I followed her career. Obviously, played against them a lot too with GB. So
Mm-hmm.
I think she's probably one of the players I would look up to.
And you know, LeBron shows you can play well into your late 30s, so you've got quite a few years left, yeah?
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I think he's got a bit more support than I do, but no, he's. I mean, let's be fair, he's amazing. Yeah, he's just on another level.
I've got one more question, but before I ask the last question, I just want to say thank you for spending time
No
with us.
problem.
Good luck for the rest of the season. Obviously, juggling the assistant coach's role along with the play,
Yeah.
it'll be great to see how kind of that goes for you. And I would love to catch up with you later on in the year. But
Thank you very much.
But yeah, thank you so much. It's been fascinating here.
No problem.
If you've liked
No
the
problem.
interview, just make sure you like and subscribe and do all of the normal things. But I'm just going to leave
Okay,
the
cool.
last word to you, Chantelle. I love basketball because.
It has allowed me to see the world and do what I love to do.
There you go. Can't argue with that. Again, thank you so much, Chantelle, and I'll speak to you soon.
No, thank you very much.